Good morning and welcome. Another early morning show. Didn't sleep well last night, so I'm actually quite tired doing this today. Believe it or not. But that's okay. We'll get there. Cat sends his greetings. Back outside again. Just that time of year. Last week when he wasn't on, I finally saw him. It was about 7 in the morning. There he was, just sitting on the front porch or whatever walkway to the front, and he's just staring out there, staring, looking. So what's he looking at? Not looking at me. On the yard was a big ass possum. This big possum. Now, if you've never seen a possum, they're like one of the ugliest creatures you have ever seen. I mean, it's just like, God, what happened? When everything was being made, or it's just like, Darwin's theory of evolution. How did you get this way? Well, he's just sitting there and he's staring at the cat. The cat's staring at him. They're not messing with each other. It's like almost like talking. Hey, you want to be friends? I don't know. You want to hang out? I don't know. I think I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if cats out there. I got probably a possum underneath my back porch. I'm going to guess that. I've had that problem before. Pain in the ass. I'll try a few things to get rid of them, but I think cat's just trying to be friends. In the past, he would have killed him, but now he's old, so let's just be friends. You tend to get that way, I guess, when you get older. You don't kill as much. You just want to be friends. For cats. Humans, we should never kill that much. Right before we get going here, I would say I saw the biggest sign of normalcy I've seen yet. My very first flight in over a year, I was served a cup of coffee on the airplane. They shut that down. Delta Airlines was what I fly, and so you have not been able to get a fresh cup of coffee, and I did have it. And I believe I got a longer one coming up. I'm going to get mixed drinks. My life's okay now. Everything's fallen into place, all good. Shots all done. I can get coffee on an airplane. I'm great. Okay, so now that we know I'm all right, cat's okay, and I got a big ass possum, let's show some records. What do you say? The first one, this one just came in. You're going to see this album. Oh, it depends how many channels you subscribe to. Anybody that likes Pink Floyd will show you this album. So here we go. All right. It's the new Pink Floyd live album. The live at Kebnworth. Anybody from England help me? Kebnworth came out in 1990. Very nicely done album. Very glossy. Nice inside. It looks really good. Very shiny, and they were even kind enough to put in a book. Now, the only thing on the book is somehow we thought that the pictures should be kind of fuzzy looking, so they're not always very clear pictures. Of course, this was in 1990, so it was Rick Wright, Dave Mason. Oh my God. Nick Mason, I'm sorry. Dave Mason played guitar, and David Gilmour playing on this album. The music, I think, sounds superb. I am a David Gilmour fan. He is my favorite member of the Pink Floyd, and because I love his guitar playing, and I like his singing a lot. And so on here, you just get a lot of your tasty favorites from Pink Floyd. Now, I really enjoy early Pink Floyd. I do like Syd Barrett. I like his singing. It's on the first few albums I thought were fantastic, but then it became kind of David Gilmour is where I went, and I truly, the songs that he has sung on when he was when they were together, all together with Roger Waters, were always my favorite. And so this was exciting. I mean, you have Shine On You Crazy Moon. That's great. Great Gig in the Sky. He doesn't sing, but they got that sounds wonderful. Wish You Were Here, favorite song. He does Money. The Money one goes on for a whole side. That one's, it was okay for me. Comfortably Numb, though, I think is just one of the most incredible of all the Pink Floyd songs. I would buy The Wall just solely because of that, and Run Like Hell. This was 45 RPM, but I'm not going to be bitchy about it because they were nice enough. They were nice enough to right here write 45 RPM. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, a lot of times live albums come in 2 record sets at 33 RPM. This one's at 45. Does this make this a single record live set at 33 RPM? Or is it still considered a double album? I don't know. I think that's going to be something that people will have to discuss and really talk about and decide how it works. Really great sounding album. I enjoyed this. You know, I'm happy I got it. So good stuff. Good way just to sit back and relax, even if I have to get up more often because it's at 45 RPM. Another one picked up. Well, I guess I picked them all up. I didn't steal any of them, come to think of it, and I don't think I have any VCLT in this one. All right, so here's The Clean. The Clean. What a great group. I really enjoy this group. They came out of New Zealand. They were formed in 1978. And alternative rock, indie rock, Hamish and David Kilgore are the two that formed the group, some brothers. And they really were kind of instrumental with the Dunedin sound, and I might be pronouncing that wrong, but the sound that came out of New Zealand, especially in the 80s, there were some pivotal groups. There was the Chills, which is just a wonderful group. Chills is one of my favorite groups. The Clean and the Bats. They were like the 3 main groups of the sound. And it's just, it's a different kind of sound. It is, there's some distortion going on, but yet there's some kind of almost like a happy rhythm going on behind them. I don't know, it's wonderful music. Some of it can be very dark. The Chills has song Pink Frosting, is that? Oh, gee whiz. I I used to have that crap all in my brain. Now who knows? But this was good to see. This was nice to pick up because I do like The Clean. This is a newer album. Again, they're still going on right now. On it, there's some very upbeat rockers, but there's also some meditative, shall we say, longer, noisy, psych instrumentals. So I said meditative, then I said noisy psych. But if you listen to it, it kind of figures out. There's one song, A-H-O, Aho, Aho. I might be saying that wrong. It starts with this really nice melodic bass line, but then there's these dark cymbals happening. And suddenly there's this bluesy wah-wah guitar that fires into it, and then it just becomes this crazy jam. Sounded really good. There are a number of instrumentals. Again, it's a 2-record set at 33 RPM. They probably, in all honesty, could have made this into a single album of just the best stuff, because with their number of instrumentals, it's like, well, let's just start. We're just noodling, and well, that sounds pretty good. Let's just put it out there. Could be. Vocal-wise, their vocals are okay. They're not going to get any awards for greatest sounding vocals, as far as I'm concerned. But I really like this group. The group's filled the album. There's a lot of droning distortion. The rhythm section stays kind of restrained down there. It doesn't really burst out. The only issue, and just so we have 1 through 15 records on here, okay? So here we have the track listing. This is the only place that there's the track listing. When you look at the albums itself, it doesn't say what's on each side. So if you want to figure out what song, you have to start counting tracks through everything. I don't get that. Well, that's kind of a pain. I guess maybe it's not about the title. The inner sleeves are really psyche, really cool looking. This is just it's good stuff. The Clean makes great music. I like their stuff. And I can't get this back in. So, oh, that's because, you know why? There it is. They also give you a live CD. Now, that's neat when someone does that. You know, and it isn't like it costs you $1 billion or anything to buy this album, but there is a live CD that comes with it. So, The Clean, a group worth checking out and looking into. You know, I would say maybe the sound's not for everyone. Their 80s stuff, though, is absolutely phenomenal, I think. I did a contest video this last week. If you ever want to see how to take, I did 2 contests in one video, just so I don't have tons of videos. If you ever like train wrecks, watch that one. It's pretty much a train wreck, but I have fun, and that's the big thing. How about Brazil? So, from Analog Africa, Camara, something like that. It's Portuguese. My Portuguese is not good. I like to think of it more as Spanish. All right, there we go. So, this album. And it comes with a nice book, by the way, too, which I'm going to pull out so we can use. Let's grab that. So, Camaro, the music, actually, the person on here, Camaro, that's him. His name is Ronaldo Elvis Ferreira, and goes by the name of Camaro, which means in Portuguese, I guess it means shrimp. Yes, shrimp. He was late for one of their gigs, and we began playing. He was out of tune, and they gave him the nickname Shrimp. I don't know how that all fits in. It wasn't because he was tiny. It was something to do with that. So he plays accordion. There's the accordion. The music is Farro music. Now, the Farro music, I love double R's in the Spanish language. I'm not hoping it works in Portuguese. Is more of a rural-based northern Brazil type music. It's based upon 3 instruments: the accordion, the triangle, and something called the zabumba drum. This is the easiest way to say it. Here it is. There is a traditional Farro orchestra: accordion, triangle, and the drum, which looks like a bass drum turned sideways. How often do you get the triangle as a major instrument? You know, you watch orchestras and the person with the triangle just kind of stands for the most time, and they go on for 10 minutes and they're standing, they're just waiting, and finally it happens. Go bam, they hit it and they earn their paycheck. Not here, man. It's like Zydeco. Zydeco music loves the triangle, and they'll sit there and bang away on that sucker. Same with this. So the music is those are the 3 instruments, and those 3 instruments really are the cornerstone of the rhythm section. Now they add other instruments to it. You're going to have like tuba. Tuba's big in here. It gives you the bass line. There's trumpet, clarinet, and there's guitar. Now, a lot of times, you know, the tuba kind of gives it almost like a New Orleans type feel. But you hear the clarinet, and you almost think Eastern European. That's how big these bands can get, okay? It's still based upon those 3 instruments, but look how huge that is. It becomes an orchestra. This is dance music. The album mostly consists of instrumental music. There are a few with vocals, but for the most part, it's instrumental, fairly upbeat. It's made to get up and dance. That's what it was all about. So they would go town to town, and especially towns with factories, sugarcane, whatever, and play. It's okay. I'll play you a sample. Sometimes you have to think, well, if someone's wearing kind of a hat that you think is goofy, and it might not, you know, obviously it's a more of a thing for that area, so it's not goofy, Northern Brazil, but for myself, that's a weird hat. You know, that album just might not be for you. And I think it's a case. The music's all right, but it's not one I'll listen to a lot. It's Analog Africa, and generally I like everything I picked up. This one wasn't as strong. If you are a fan of the accordion, it's not bad, and he plays great. He really does sound good. Sometimes the tuba and clarinet get a little much for me, I think. And if fans of the triangle, if the triangle is your thing, I highly recommend this album to you. Highly. It's a triangle guy. I do like an zydeco music, though. I got it. I do. All right, the Wipers. This has been reissued, and I think on Bump Records, Xeno Records, I guess. It's been shown out there suddenly a lot. I saw it. Vinyl Richie put this album in his top 10 punk albums. Austin Ryan, who just talks punk, he has shown this, and Cosmic Brian just showed this. Which, by the way, I wanted to call out a couple channels I've been watching, I've been enjoying. One is HiOctane Revival. So HiOctane Revival is by Garner. He pretty much does every video dealing with 80s garage rock. And the revival that went on, probably 90s, but very knowledgeable, really loves that stuff. Very interesting. He's cost me a few albums. Some money, okay, not to cost me albums, but I bought some albums because of what he said. Harris Pilton is another one, and he's out of the UK. Now, HiOctane Revival, he has 127 subs. This fun guy. Harris Pilton's out of the UK. He only has 66 subs. And this channel, he shows just such a wide variety of different things. He's pretty funny. He can just go off into something, and I really just enjoy listen to him start just going away about albums, and then who knows where he might move into. Kind of how I have. It happens with me sometimes, and you don't know where you're going to go. And so I want to give those two shout outs. So back to the Wipers. 3-piece band, started in 77, broke up in 89. In the early 90s, Kurt Cobain talked about the Wipers, how influential they were to him, and so they reformed in 93 and went on to 99. This was the first album, came out in 1980. They actually have recorded 9 LPs. When they started, they created their own record label, Trap Records. They didn't want to be, they wanted to do their own thing, and the best way to do your own thing is we're going to have our own record label, which is what they did. So the music, it's forceful, but it's tuneful. Like it has that punk energy. So each song is just filled with punk energy, especially on this one. The name of this album is This Real? Yep, Is This Real? Okay, we remember this. Again, it came out in 1980, and there's just this cool lyric on here. It said, I always try to wonder how it must feel to be real. I just really, I like that one. Greg Sage, he's the guitarist, and I believe the vocalist for this. He's right-handed. He learned to play on a left-handed guitar. Who does that? I mean, I'm left-handed. Everything I look at's right-handed. I mean, it's not easy to find left-handed guitars, but that's what he found. And so as a right-handed person, he learned to play left-handed, or at least on a left-handed guitar. I found that to be quite interesting. Just lots of punk energy. If you like punk, if kind of this is coming down, so you're getting that 70s punk energy going on, but in the 80s it gets even harder, and you can feel that happening on here. It's taken along a harder edge. It's not going into the thrash or thrash punk or anything like that, but definitely getting a lot louder. Very good, influential punk band. For those of you that enjoy punk music and you don't have it, you would really like this. I was glad I bought it, and I'd been missing it. So it's not, it's fairly inexpensive too. Let's go into blues next, and you're falling over. We have Frank Frost. Frank Frost, fun name. Now, I'll show you this wrap. So I bought this in a record store in Toledo. No. I bought this in a record store in Dayton, Ohio. When you buy a used record, they have on here, it says, please do not open. So they tape them shut. All vinyl is pre-graded. Check barcode or ask clerk to view the inside. So you can't go to the record store to pull a used record album and do, well, let's see, how's that look? Unless you go up and ask a clerk. That's kind of BS, you know. It's a nice record store, and but it's the first place I've ever seen. It might be because people were coming in and switching. I mean, it very well could be. Let's switch out albums. It just happened at my local record store. Someone took a more expensive one, didn't get away with it, but tried to switch it out. I understand that. That is security, and they're trying to save profit. But for us honest people, it kind of sucks because we like to check it. And how they grade may not be how I grade, because grading is so subjective. But we got Frank Otis Frost, born in 1938 in Arkansas, passed in 99. America Delta blues harmonica player. He's actually plays a lot of instruments. You know, when he was young, in church, he learned how to play the piano at church. At age 15, he says, hey, I'm going to take my music elsewhere. He moved to St. Louis and began playing guitar in St. Louis. When he was 18 years old, he met Sonny Boy Williamson II and joined his band. And Sonny Boy taught him how to play the guitar. So here's now, play the harmonica. So now at 18, we're learning the harmonica. On this album, he plays guitar and he plays harmonica. So he does them both. So he was very versatile. He could play, so you know he had a lot of talent there. Sam Phillips heard him in the 50s and recorded some singles for Frank Frost on his Sun label. He went into obscurity and kind of came back in the late 70s. The blues revival began happening. You know, like Johnny Winter was pulling Muddy Waters out of retirement. Robert Cray came onto the scene, began to bring blues back. So Frank Frost came back. And this album's from 1988, I believe. And, you know, the harmonica playing on there has this lonesome raw harmonica sound. The type of blues, though, it's more Chicago electric blues. That's the feel that definitely it has on there. There's these beautiful rolling piano licks happening and walking bass lines that are going on. And, you know, and the harmonica playing is just, it's really good. It's very enjoyable, good guitar. Vocal-wise, he's okay. He's not a bad blues singer. You know, he's not going to be one of the classics. But this is just, I had not seen Frank Frost before. This is Midnight Prowlers, the name of the album. At first I've ever seen of it. And I thought, hey, I'm going to pick it up. The thing's super clean, very nice. So happy to have that for the blues. Good pickup. And it seems to me, is that the one I overpaid on? I might have. Yeah, really, they charged more than what this thing really was worth. I made out on another album, but you kind of you go to Discogs and pull up and go, oh, dang it. Why'd you charge so much for that? It was very, very clean. Very clean.
shop and had a party going on.
All right, the next group got Twofer, and this group is the telescopes. Okay, the telescopes. Look at that. Isn't that? There's some nice vinyl here, beautiful orange, and this one also has colored vinyl. We're going to stick with the orange look. The telescopes are from England. This is very shiny because, yes, the shrink's still on. I do leave the shrink on. I can go into a whole thing on why I do that and how it has never affected any of my records, but we're not right now. So they were formed in England in '87, and they're still playing. It's kind of one of those off again, on again groups. They play space rock, they play dream pop, they play psychedelic, shoegaze. Their very first album actually was noise rock, and but then they came up with the second album. This is the untitled album. It had no title. These their influences were Suicide, Velvet Underground, 13th Floor Elevators, and they've done 12 different studio albums. Then they joined Creation Records. Creation Records was, of course, home of Jesus and the Mary Chain, My Bloody Valentine. They went into shoegaze. That's what you get here. You don't have the anger of, say, like Jesus and the Mary Chain Gang, where it just felt like they were just trying to just destroy their instruments. They actually didn't know how to play them, so it's just making that noise was part of it. That's not the case here. But the vocals are kind of pushed back, but what you do here, it's kind of the backing vocals that pull it out. It sounds really kind of neat. The female backing vocals, there's sinuous bass lines, the soulful rhythms happening. The guitars are just shimmering guitars. Really nice selling. This album here, when you think of the shoegaze movement, is one of those landmark albums that came out on Creation, the Telescopes' second album. So if you like shoegaze but you don't have the telescopes, these are off Bop Records that you can get them. Again, very restrained, I think, vocals, kind of almost semi-emotional, but the female backing vocals just kind of highlight them, make it sound good. Great shoegaze stuff. This is their second album Untitled. This is called New Dimensions, number 2. This is like a greatest hits, if you had any hits, and they had a couple, but just this is a great overview. Again, doesn't cost a lot. If you want to get an overview for the telescopes, New Dimensions 2, I saw this from Sam the Vinyl Douche. I used to have this one. I lost it, brought it back, but he talked about this one, how this one was really good, and it is. Really good stuff. So for those of the shoegaze, there you have it. Okay, that's it. Yeah, I probably need a nap. I didn't sleep well. I had everything was chasing me last night in my dreams, and one of those nights where I was just exhausted. So kind of woke up, got a headache, the whole works. Whatever. New day, new week. Let's do it. Thank you so much for dropping by, tuning in, doing what you always do, and your wonderful comments. Always appreciate it. That's why I do this, because I just have a good time doing it, and I enjoy your interaction. So enjoy your week. Bye.